The rematch everyone was waiting for between Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev just went down. Alex Pereira has finished Magomed Ankalaev so bad, and the reactions from fighters and analysts are coming in hot.
Pereira! Oh my God. When he did him, bro, I was ecstatic. He never stopped. He was like, I'm gonna do it one more time, bro. Make sure you saw him, bro.
He's always around that level, but obviously he's lost to Pereira twice. So with it, I'm sure he lost to him twice within like 12 months as well. So,
but I think he got too much. But Alex just used that as motivation for him. And sorry, guys.
And as far as Ankalaev, like where do you think he goes from here?
Ankalaev, home, back to Mother Russia, but not in America.
But I am really happy that I saw Alex won. Maybe you don't believe me yet, but I believe I will find a way for Alex in the third match.
Before these two stepped into the cage again, the entire MMA community was buzzing. Fighters, coaches, and experts all had something to say, and some predictions caught people completely off guard. John McCarthy broke down what both fighters needed to do going into this rematch. He pointed out that Pereira knew his first performance wasn't his best work and he had to step it up. Ankalaev came in with a solid game plan last time and applied pressure like a pro. McCarthy mentioned that while Ankalaev had wrestling in his back pocket, he preferred to keep things standing. Both men were dangerous in their own ways, and either one could flip the script at any second.
I think Alex Pereira understands my output was not anywhere near what it normally is, and I need to up that. And you know, if he doesn't up it, he's going to end up in the same position he was in the first one, where Ankalaev, I believe, is looking at his game plan that he had in the first one. It worked well, and it was smart, and part of it was the pressure that he put. Can he put that same pressure back on to Pereira and make him have a problem with his output? Ankalaev, you know, we know that he can wrestle. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't seem to want to do it a lot. He likes the stand-up. And no matter what, you've got to...
McCarthy didn't hold back when talking about how unpredictable this fight was. He gave Ankalaev a small edge as the favorite, but he made it clear that Pereira only needed one clean shot to change everything. The fight was too close to call with confidence. Either man could walk away with the win, which made it must-see TV. McCarthy stressed that neither fighter could afford to relax for even a second, because one mistake could end it all.
Good in the stand-up. It's not like, oh, he's a great wrestler and he's a shitty stand-up guy, but he wants to throw hands. No, his stand-up is really good. And he is an accomplished striker. He's an accomplished grappler. He's just good all the way around. But both of these guys have the power and the ability to put the other guy to sleep anytime during this fight. So when you have a fight that you look at and you go, man, you know, either guy can win. It's not like it's, there's no doubt in my mind one's going to win over the other. I can't say that in this fight. This is an absolute, you know, I'm going to say Ankalaev is the favorite, but, you know, there at any moment, all it takes is one from Alex Pereira to change the course of the fight or to end the fight. So either guy can win this fight.
Kamaru Usman took a different angle when he reflected on their first meeting. He said a lot of fans left disappointed because they expected Pereira to deliver a highlight reel knockout. Instead, Ankalaev kept his cool and broke Pereira down bit by bit. Usman brought up how people started questioning whether Pereira was taking too many fights or if all the traveling was catching up to him, which sparked even more debate.
That first fight was kind of lackluster. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. People wanted to see Alex Pereira potentially do what Alex Pereira does, which is put your head in the upper deck. And unfortunately, we didn't get that. Magomed Ankalaev's system.
But Usman noticed something different this time around. Both fighters seemed more prepared for what was coming. He talked about how Pereira and Ankalaev actually showed respect when they met face-to-face, even having calm conversations through a translator with zero hostility. Usman found it surprising but refreshing to see two competitors handle things so maturely. To him, it proved they both understood what the other brought to the table.
Down over time, and a lot of people questioned whether maybe Alex Pereira was traveling too much, Alex Pereira was just fighting too frequently, he was a UFC savior, blah, blah, blah. A lot of words, a lot of speculations around that. But now both guys know what they're up against. Alex Pereira understands how dangerous Magomed Ankalaev is. They've had run-ins, and it's the most respectful run-ins between combatants that we've really ever seen. We see them at the PI with each other. Not only are they with each other, they're with each other, talking about each other to each other through a translator. It's the most respectful.
Yes.
Alex Pereira himself weighed in on what Ankalaev was really like as a person. He said meeting him in real life gave him a totally different vibe than what he saw online. Pereira felt like Ankalaev was respectful when they talked, but his online presence told a different story. A lot of fans suspected someone else was managing Ankalaev's social media, and Pereira admitted he wondered about that too.
When we're in person, he seems like a nice guy from what he said at the PI, you know, but when he's far away, I can't understand what he's saying. I don't understand what he's saying.
Muitas pessoas acreditam que não é ele, né? E por certo momento também acreditei no dia no PI, porque ele falou algumas coisas e depois, pô, se escondeu no PI. Então, pô, pergunta agora para ele por que ele se escondeu.
A lot of people believe it's not him posting online, and sometimes I believe that too. You know, going off of what I saw and what he said at the PI, you know.
Chael Sonnen dove into how this rematch even became a reality. After the loss, Pereira earned his spot as the #1 contender and got his shot at champion Ankalaev. Sonnen said it all made perfect sense when you looked at the bigger picture. He explained that setting up the first fight was a nightmare because both guys had wins, but a lot of them weren't on major cards, which made booking the fight a real headache.
The right thing to do. Pierre was the champion for so long that with a defeat, he defaults down to #1 contender. And as a #1 contender, he gets to fight for the belt against the guy who's holding the belt, who happens to be Ankalaev. I mean, it kind of felt like that. Not to mention, that story generally works. I haven't seen anything amiss at this point. I just remember how hard it was to get those two to the cage the first time. I remember Roundtree getting pulled off 5 or 6 beautiful wins, 5 or 6 beautiful finishes, but they weren't on pay-per-view.
But this time around, everything fell into place. Ankalaev was ready to go and the pieces aligned without any drama. Sonnen explained that the rematch happened quickly and the bad blood between Pereira and Ankalaev only made it more intense. While the first fight took forever to organize, the second one came together smoothly and fans couldn't wait to see these two settle the score once and for all.
Right, it was almost like Raw versus SmackDown. There were two good products, but they were different products. And if you're going to fight for the Raw championship, you've got to have done some work on Raw and not get drawn over from SmackDown. Now, once Khalil got in there, we found out he was exactly the guy for the job. I'm just suggesting for you, Ankalaev was available then. In fact, they went out of their way to make Ankalaev unavailable by putting him with Rachik just to set up the storyline so that Roundtree did draw in to Pereira. So for a fight that initially was very hard to make, this second fight that nobody asked for was really easy to make. But what are we doing here? And how have things heated up so tremendously now?
Things got heated when Pereira kept questioning who was really behind Ankalaev's social media accounts, pointing out the difference between his online persona and his real-life behavior. This added fuel to the fire as fight week approached. Ankalaev fired back with some serious words, telling Pereira he was coming to make him pay. He guaranteed that on Saturday night he would hand him a brutal beating, showing just how locked in and confident he was.
Magomed takes leg kicks in one of his older fights. I think Alex goes in there. You know, he's not going to get hold against the cage. I think he's going to stay his distance. I think he's going to get on the leg kicks early. And I think Alex get his hands raised, man. I think Pereira is going to be the champion again. And it's going to be fun, you know. Like, no disrespect to Magomed. No disrespect to him. He's a beast. He's an animal. I think he's really good. But I don't think Alex is going to let him push him against the cage like how he did in the first outing.
Holloway wrapped up by saying this rematch was going to deliver fireworks for the fans. He gave Ankalaev his props as a tough and skilled fighter, but said Pereira wouldn't let him bully him around the cage this time. Holloway predicted Pereira would come out hot, throw combinations early, and reclaim the title. He hyped up the main event as something no MMA fan should miss, promising it would be competitive and action-packed from start to finish.
I don't think Alex is gonna wait too much. Like, Alex was waiting on him a lot, and that's why Magomed could go first, and you know, he'd start the combination and he would also end it, you know. I think Alex is gonna start. I think he's gonna come out early, super early with leg kicks, and I think so we're gonna get an Anu for this main event, man. I can't wait. This card is fun, you know. It's gonna be great. I think Alex Pereira goes out there and regain his championship. I think Marab gets it done.
Chael Sonnen made an interesting point about how fighters grow from every single fight, no matter how long it takes to run it back. He said both fighters take something valuable away from every matchup, whether they win or lose. Sonnen emphasized that the experience you gain inside the cage sticks with you forever. Even when things don't go your way, those lessons end up shaping how you fight down the road.
Fighting this weekend, but they could fight 5 years from now. They're still going to be able to recall the things that they learned from that match. And the problem is that goes two ways. This whole I learned something, I got better, I'll do different, I'll do better next time, having felt him, isn't just assigned to the loser. The winner of the contest gains from those same benefits. Ankalaev did not fight the fight that he wanted to.
Sonnen also talked about how Ankalaev tried to take Pierre to the ground, but Pierre's wrestling defense and scrambling ability were way better than anyone expected. Fans finally got to see a side of Pierre's game that had been hidden. The fight forced both men to adjust on the fly and showed what happens when elite fighters face serious pressure. Both guys walked away smarter, and the crowd got a masterclass in high-level strategy, defense, and real-time problem solving.
That Ankalaev's plan A went out the window. Was it because Pierre was too slippery? Was it just because Pierre's defense was too good? Either way, Ankalaev's plan, and the one that he went to first, was to take Pereira down. It's one of the things that really stood out as a Pereira fan. We all had to look around and go, wow, this guy's got good wrestling defense. We didn't know that. We didn't know that his wrestling defense is elite. We didn't know that his ability to scramble was so strong. But the reason that we were able to learn and see how good that defense was and that those scrambling abilities were in place is because Ankalaev forced the pressure. He forced through the takedowns. He wanted to get to a double. He wanted to tackle him. He wanted to get him on the mat. What happens then? We don't know. It's still a mystery. It's still very captivating. I'm still equally as curious. But whatever benefits that Pereira would have gained from having felt Ankalaev in rounds 1 through 5.
So what did you think of the fight? Did your prediction come true, or were you shocked by what went down? Who are you riding with in this rivalry? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss another breakdown like this.